I'm sure by now we're all aware that 2023 was the final year of production for Dodge's V8 muscle cars such as the Hellcats, the Redeyes, the Scat Packs, and many more trims of their vehicle, all coming to an end due to a more strict law on car companies, unfortunately forcing Dodge to take a brand new approach with their Dodge Charger EV models for the year 2024 going forward. But that doesn't mean we can't appreciate the historical run this company had from 2015 when they first announced the introduction of their Scat Pack and Hellcat trims, which quite literally took the car industry by storm, as the competitors were just not ready for a rear-wheel drive American muscle car producing 707 horsepower from a supercharged V8 engine that can smoke supercars for a fraction of the price, and with that began the amazing run Dodge went on for another 8 years. And it was during these 8 years that we were introduced to a lot of different trims by Dodge on their cars, such as the Challengers, the Chargers, and even the Dodge Durangos, which all deserve their spotlight. But today I want to take a look at the top 5 best cars Dodge produced during this period, in my opinion. And I also want to mention that we will only be discussing Dodge products, so cars like the Jeep Trackhawk do not count as it's not a Dodge specifically. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start off this list with the 5th best car in my opinion, which is the Dodge Challenger / Charger Hellcats, producing 707 horsepower until 2018 when Dodge decided to upgrade the horsepower to 717. And with these cars both weighing well over 4,500 pounds, it makes it all the more impressive when you realize they can do the 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds and the quarter mile in a respectable 11.5 seconds. Oh, and by the way, you could get the Dodge Challenger Hellcat in a stick shift as well, which is something that we won't see for the rest of the cars in this video. And the only reason I put the Hellcats on the 5th spot is because I believe there are other cars better than this one, which I will get into, but I really couldn't make a Dodge performance list without mentioning the Hellcat. Number 4 on my list is none other than the Dodge Challenger and the Charger Redeyes, as they are the big brother to the Hellcats, producing an impressive 797 horsepower and 707 pound-feet of torque from a 6.2 liter V8 Hemi engine with a supercharger adding an additional 2.7 liters. Literally, the supercharger on this car is bigger than my car's entire engine. And these beauties can do the 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds and a quarter mile in a very respectable 10.8 seconds. And the Dodge Charger Redeyes only came in a wide body, but the Challengers gave you the option to choose between a narrow body or a wide body, and you definitely cannot go wrong with this car at a starting MSRP in the mid-70s. Now, 3rd place might be a bit controversial, but as a father, this was definitely a no-brainer to me, with the car being none other than the Dodge Durango Hellcat, producing 710 horsepower and 656 pound-feet of torque from the same Hellcat engines found in the Dodge Chargers and the Challengers. And the reason I put this car in number 3 is because this beast is a all-wheel drive 5,700 pound 3-row SUV with a towing capacity of 8,700 pounds, with options on the interior such as a heated and ventilated seat, a sunroof, a moonroof, leather and suede seats that could fit up to 7 people, and still do the 0 to 60 in just 3.6 seconds while doing the quarter mile in under 12 seconds. All these features do make this car a bit more pricey than its Challenger and Charger brothers, with a starting MSRP of close to $100,000. Now, 2nd place might also get me some hate from the casual Dodge fans, but if you're a true Mopar fan, I think you'll understand why I put this car as 2nd place after I revealed the 1st place. But the 2nd place belongs to the 2023 limited edition Dodge Demon 170, producing 1,025 horsepower and 945 pound-feet of torque, literally being the world's quickest car at doing the 0 to 60 mile per hour with a 0 to 60 of just 1.66 seconds, while having the highest G-force acceleration of any production car at 2.004 Gs. But the most impressive record this car holds to me is that this is the first ever history's 8-second factory muscle car, doing the quarter mile in an impressive 8.91 seconds. And honestly, I can go on and on about how impressive this car is, which will probably make you think, if this car is so impressive, then what car is number 1 on this list? And that place belongs to a car that I feel like needs no introduction, with it being none other than the 2018 original Dodge Demon, producing 840 horsepower and 770 pound-feet of torque on E85 fuel. Now hear me out, just because this car makes 200 less horsepower than the 170 doesn't mean it's not impressive, because this beast is still equipped with a 6.2 liter Hemi V8 engine plus a 3 liter supercharger sitting on top of it, allowing this car to do the 0 to 60 in just 2.3 seconds and a quarter mile in a respectable 9.65 seconds. And you could also purchase an entire Demon crate that came on with this car, which had everything you needed for the track day, such as these skinny tires, this tire gauge, a jack, and many more for an additional $1. But the main reason I chose this car as the best Dodge car throughout this era is because this car came with a fully wide body kit on the front and the back of the vehicle, as opposed to the Demon 170s where the fronts are a narrow body, making the car look just a bit weird to me. And with some minor modifications, you could definitely achieve well over 1,000 horsepower with this engine as well for a fraction of the price on those Demon 170s with the dealership markups. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this, and also be sure to let me know what's your favorite Dodge car ever.